Hello viewers, hope you all are fine. So this is Dr. Sudhamay Behura and today I welcome you to the another video. It is the 10th number of video of Unit 2 of your AECC 1 Environment Study and Disaster Management compulsory subject. Okay, so today in this video we will learn about your sustainable development goals. Okay, so in between these discussions, if you will watch from starting to end, then you will be able to know about the definition of sustainable development goals, means what is development, what is sustainable development, then what are the goals. So there are two types of goals. One is millennium development goal and sustainable development goals. So what are these goals and when and for what it is established? Okay, so all these things you can know. And before going to the discussion, I would like to request you all to please subscribe, like my channel, and make me or give me some motivation so that I can work more. So as you all know that this video is all about the lecture series according to your syllabus of AECC 1 Environment Study and Disaster Management. So all these discussions are made serially, chronologically. So you need not be worried about your content. So you just go through your syllabus and search that particular subject, a particular matter, okay, here in my channel. Okay, so if you want to make this paper easy and can attend to all the possible multiple choice question and long questions, okay, and then please subscribe and watch the contents regularly. Okay, so now we are in last part of unit 2. In another one class this unit will be completed. Okay, so let us discuss what is sustainable development goals. Okay, so it is abbreviated as SDGs. So, dear viewers, you know that development means it is the gradual growth of a situation, isn't it? For example, suppose you will say that the organization is developing, means the gradual growth of infrastructure, gradual growth of its structure, everything is going on or increasing. Okay, so this is the development, and that becomes more advanced and strong than previous one. Okay, then we can call it that this process is developing. Then development is intended to bring a positive change for human being and its surroundings. So why we always needs development? Because when development will be there, then it will bring some positive change, and that will improve our health, improve our condition of the surroundings. Okay, so development may take place by bringing about a change in policy, projects, legislation. So how we can bring development to a situation or to a country, to a person? So by making some change in so-called adopted policies, then in projects, legislation. Okay, so what are there in your law? It should be changed according to the changing situation. So development is a, we can say, unfolding of human potentials for meaning participation in economic, social, political and cultural processes and institutions, so that people can improve their condition. So when development will be there, so the condition of the people will also improve, isn't it? So now come to what do we mean by sustainable development. So sustainable development is that type of development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Okay. So how we can understand this? For example, suppose now particularly in 21st century, suppose there is a finite storage of your petroleum products. Okay. So if we will use the stored petroleum product unnecessarily, then the situation may come that within few years it may finish, isn't it? Then due to our carelessness, if this resource will be depleted in near future, then our future generation will be suffered. They will not get this petroleum for their consumption, isn't it? So we cannot call it as sustainable development. So that type of development where we meets all the needs of our present condition without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Okay. So I think that you can understand. Yes. So there was one economist whose name was Gro Harlem Brundtland. He first introduced the concept of sustainable development in 1987. Okay. So he was then the Prime Minister of Norway and Chairman of the World Commission on Environment and Development. Okay. So for the first time in the year 1987, this term sustainable development came into existence by the Brundtland. Okay. So, the term sustainable development first came to prominence in the World Conservation Strategy in 1980. Okay. It achieved a new status with the publication of two significant reports by Brundtland that I recently or just now told you. Okay. So, the report were North and South, a program for survival and common crisis. Okay. And second report was Our Common Future, that was in the year 1983 and has gained even greater attention since the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED, okay, held in Rio de Janeiro in June 1992. Okay. So, sustainable development means it improve in lifestyle and well-being and at the same time preserving natural resources and ecosystem. So, there are 17 developmental goals. Those are known as sustainable developmental goals. Okay. So, at the UN Sustainable Development Summit on 25th September 2015, world leaders adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, okay, which includes a set of 17 sustainable development goals to end poverty, fight inequality and injustice, okay, and tackle climate change by 2030, okay. So these are the 17 goals, okay, and it is also known as 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. Before this Sustainable Development Goal, there was another set of goals. Those are known as your Millennium Development Goals. Okay, Millennium means 2000. So, 2000 it was adopted. Okay. So that development, in that development goals, there are only 7 goals. But here in sustainable development goals, there are 17 goals. So each goal has specific targets to be achieved over the next 15 years. For the goals to be reached, everyone needs to do their part, isn't it? Government, private sector, civil society, people, isn't it? So it is not a single hand role. neither government nor the private sector can do everything alone. Okay. So a set of 17 goals backed up by a set of 169 detailed targets. Okay. So these are important short questions, that how many goals are there in the sustainable development goals. Okay. So 17. How many targets? 169 targets. So negotiated over a 2-year period at the United Nations and agreed to be nearly all the world's nations on 25th September 2015. Okay. So achievement of all goals to be assessed at every 5-year interval, that is 2020, 2025 and 2030. So it was launched in the year 2015, and after 5 years interval the achievement of all goals to be assessed, that whether we have assessed something or not. Okay. So next is your on September 25th 2015. So now we are discussing about the history of this goal. So on this September 25th 2015, 193 heads of state at the United Nations General Assembly set up a collection of 17 goals known as the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, or simply we can call it as global goals. So my dear students, you can prepare your own note. Okay, just pause the video and go for making the note, because all these materials I have collected and in front of your screen are the latest data and very good material. So you can go for making your own note, so that it will give you proper knowledge, proper forum to for your exam purpose. Okay. So, the Sustainable Development Goals and their 169 targets form the core of resolution of the United Nations, which is a breakthrough agreement called Agenda 2030. So, this document or sustainable goals is also known as Agenda 2030. So, the goals are to be achieved by all member states by year 2030. So, they are a universal call to action to end poverty, so protect the planet and ensure all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Okay. So the goals are broad, interdependent and cover social, economic and social issues, and making them work is everyone's responsibility. Okay. So the goal are based on broad things, and the goals are interdependent on each other, and all these 17 goals, they cover different sectors like your social, economic, and other issues. So now we will discuss all the goals separately. Okay. So goal number 1 is your end poverty in all its forms everywhere. So you just remember the 17 goals. Okay. You may not be or it may difficult to remember everything inside these goals, but you at least remember all these 17 goals and its meaning. Okay. So for example, goal number 1 is based on end of poverty in all its forms everywhere. Means goal number 1 is, you can say, no poverty. Okay. So in this way question will be asked, that uh, in your sustainable development goal, your end of poverty in all its forms everywhere or no poverty is coming under goal number dash. Okay. So you should remember that 17 goals. In goal number 1 what is there, goal number 2 what is there. Okay. So in this way, so goal number 1 is no poverty. So poverty means it is defined as income less than 1.25 USD per day, isn't it? So the targets for this goal include a world where the poor are not vulnerable to climate change and have equal rights to economic resources. So economic growth must be inclusive to provide sustainable jobs and promote equality. Okay, so this goal aims to eradicate extreme poverty by year 2030. Okay, then goal number 2. So end hunger and achieve food security and improved nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. So many still suffer from hunger and malnutrition around the world. So mostly women and children. And the food and agriculture sector offers key solutions for development and it's central for hunger and poverty eradication, isn't it? So goal number 3 is your ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. So ensuring healthy lives and promoting the well-being for all ages is essential to sustainable development, and this goal includes calls for universal health coverage, increasing healthcare workforce, then reducing illness and death by pollution, comprehensive agenda for tackling a wide range of global health challenges such as AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, then vaccinate your family to protect them and improve public health, isn't it? So goal number 4 is your ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So this is coming under your goal number 4, that is quality education. So obtaining a quality education is the foundation to improve people's lives and sustainable development. And targets for this goal include the need for access to university level education, then vocational training and entrepreneurial skills, and help children in your community to read. Okay. Then goal number 5 is to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. So gender equality, is not only a fundamental human right but is necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous and sustainable world, isn't it? And targets for this goal include freedom from discrimination and violence, ensuring equal share of leadership opportunities and responsibilities for women as well as property ownership. Then goal number 6 is your ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. So you know that clean accessible water for all is an essential part of the world we want to live in, and basic water scarcity affects 40% of world population, and targets for this goal include programs that provide access to basic technologies like toilets or latrines as well as protecting ecosystem that provide water and avoid wasting water. Okay. Then goal number 7 is your ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. So between 2000 and 2016, the number of people with the electricity increased from 78 to 87%, and the numbers without electricity dipped to just below 1 billion. Okay, and investing in solar, wind and thermal power, improving energy productivity and ensuring energy for all is vital if we are to achieve sustainable development goal 7 by 2030, isn't it? So expanding infrastructure and upgrading technology to provide clean and more efficient energy in all countries will encourage growth and help the environment. Okay, it is one important goal based on your environmental development. Okay, that is ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. Okay, Then goal number 8 is your promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. So sustainable economic growth will require societies to create the conditions that allow people to have quality jobs. So about 75 million people between ages 15 and 24 are estimated to be unemployed and out of school globally. So this goal targets closing that gap using innovation as well as separate growth from ecosystem degradation. Okay, so this is the goal number 8, and goal number 9 is your build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Okay, so investments in infrastructure are crucial to achieve sustainable development, and targets for this goal include fostering a more innovative and environmentally sound approach to industrial development, and think of innovative new ways to repurpose old material. Okay, and uh, goal number 10 is on reducing inequality. So progressively achieve and sustain income growth of the bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average, and adopt policies especially your wage and social protection policies. Okay, and your goal number 11 is your make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. So there need to be a future in which cities provide opportunities for all with access to basic services, energy, housing, transportation and more. And more than half the world population lives in cities, as we know. In urbanization chapter we already discussed those, and targets for this goal include addressing issues like transportation, disaster preparedness as well as preservation of the world's cultural and natural heritage. Okay, and bike, walk or use public transportation to keep out cities air clean. So clean air. So goal number 12 is your ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. So this goal targets topics like your reducing food wastage, then corporate sustainability practice and educating people on the impact of their lifestyle choices. Okay, then paper recycling, then glass, plastic, aluminium. Okay, then goal number 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. So climate change and its impact was already discussed in previous lectures. Okay, if you have any doubt you can go to the playlist and can check. Okay, so take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact is the goal number 13. So climate change is a global challenge that affects everyone everywhere. So this goal has an asterisk as it references the Paris Agreement of December 2015, which guides nations to jointly commit to limiting global warming to not more than 2 degrees Celsius. Okay, and educate young people on climate change to put them on a sustainable path early. And goal number 14 is conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. Okay, then careful management of this essential global resource is a key feature of a sustainable future. So the world's oceans are overfished. Okay, and underprotected and stressed from climate change and pollution. So the target for this goal include research and learning to find out more about what lies beneath the oceans so as to better save them. Okay, and avoid plastic bags to keep the oceans safe and clean. Then goal number 15 is your protect, restore and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem. So all these goals are based on your environmental protection. So sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, then halt and remove land degradation, halt biodiversity loss, and this goal targets halting the threat to living ecosystems and biodiversity on land. Okay, so goal number 16 is your promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development and access to justice for all and building effective, accountable institutions at all levels. So targets for this goal include reduction of violence, end to torture, reduction of corruption, as well as creation of institutions and governments that work for everyone. So use your right to elect the leaders in your country and local community. Okay. So this is the last goal, that is goal number 17, and it tells about strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Okay. So in short we can uh, call it that partnership for the goals. Okay. So every country and every sector has a role to play in achieving the sustainable development goals. So this goal targets ensuring that countries have what is needed in achieving the rest of the sustainable development goals, such as funds, capacities and technologies. So this goal emphasizes the need for partnership and collaboration. Okay. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals. So in the right side there is one table, that is the summary of sustainable goals and targets. So my dear viewers, students, you can go to this particular table and can remember it easily. Okay, so goal number 1, here it is written as end of poverty, and um, so you have in this there are total 7 targets, because I told you that 17 goals and all total 169 targets, isn't it? So out of which in between the year 2020 we had to complete 22 targets. Within 2025 another 3 targets. Within 2030 144 targets. Okay, so when we will sum up, then it should be 169 targets. Okay, so end of poverty, the 7 targets to be achieved within the year 2030. Okay, so end of hunger, total 8 targets. So one target to complete within 220, another one within 2025, and 6 targets within 2030. Okay, so you need not be worried about the targets. You at least remember these 17 goals from this table. Okay, it will help you a lot. So thank you viewers for watching this video, and if it really give you some knowledge and it has some content, so then please subscribe, please like this channel so that I can go forward. Okay, So for today, bye bye. Okay, and we will meet in our next video on the some other contents, that is particularly on agenda 21, and that will be the last video of unit 2. Then we will start unit 3. Okay, so take care and bye, and please like, subscribe. Thank you. Bye.